right, Red Devil sports fans, welcome back to another episode of Speak of the Devils podcast, sponsored by our favorite restaurant in Carlisle, The Grazery. Today, we are going to do something a little different in our first segment here. I'm going to host. I am going to be the Steve Harvey of the whatever you want to call it of moderating the draft. I don't know why I chose Steve Harvey, but he was the first television personality that came to mind. So yes, I'm going to be Steve Harvey for today, minus the mustache. We're going to do our NBA All-Star drafts. And all right, one of you guys is KD, one of you guys is LeBron. We're going to do a draft. We're going to do our mock All-Star NBA draft. So, fellas, how do we decide who's going first here?
Well, so I'll be LeBron, he's KD, and he'll get first starter draft pick, and I'll get first reserve pick because KD's hurt, he's not playing, so he'll get the first starter, and he's gonna be taking 5 starters. I as LeBron will technically be starting.
Okay, I apologize for my poor host preparation. By the way, we're also going to have an interview with men's lacrosse captain Matt Donnelly as our interview segment for today. And to wrap up the show, we are going to do our top 5, our favorite college basketball players of all time. Not necessarily who we think was the best college basketball player, but more or less who we think is, who we had the most fun watching growing up or watching highlights. So it should be a pretty interesting list there. But fellas, all right, let's get into it. We are going to go first pick.
Mm-hmm.
Who do we got?
All right, so I have the first pick, and I'm going to go with, and you guys already know, I'm going to go with Joel Embiid first, taking him first off the board. That's my guy. He's the MVP this year, so taking Joel Embiid.
I see. I'm going immediately to Curry. I'm so happy to take him.
Yep, there you go. And then I'm going to go to Brad Beal. He's having a sick year, and it's kind of going under the radar because of Washington. So Brad Beal.
That's all right. The Celtics started their resurgence by being horrible, so it's okay.
Sure.
I guess I'll round out my guards and take Kyrie.
There you go. All right, and then I'm gonna take Luka Doncic. I love that kid.
All right.
Are we going full? Are we going full bench here? Are we going full bench, starting roster? How are we doing?
We're going to do starters, and then we'll reset, and then I'll take the first pick of the bench, I guess.
Okay, we really should have discussed this before the show happened, but
it's all good. It's all right. On the fly. It's all right.
Yeah, exactly. All natural, organic.
Pretty much. I'm going to go with Antetokounmpo.
Oh, dude, you're such a hater for him. I don't know why. That's cool. All right. I'm going to go with so I take a guard and a center. So you have 2 guards and a center.
Right.
Okay. So I'm going to go with crap. I already lost my place. I had a whole plan and now I screwed it up. I'm going to go with, you know what? I'll take your boy. I'll take Jason Tatum.
Okay. Well, that makes it, I guess, a little easier on me. I'm going Jokic, most electric player in the NBA.
Relax. All right. I am going to go. I need a point guard. Am I right? So
no, I think the only one left is Kawhi.
The only one left is Kawhi.
You have 3 guards already.
Yeah, you have Doncic and Beal are your guards, and your forwards are Embiid, Tatum, and Kawhi Leonard now.
Okay. Right. Okay. So I'm gonna go with I'll go with Kawhi. That's cool.
All right. Then we go to the bench, right?
Yeah, we can go to the bench, and you have first pick, right, for the bench.
First pick for the bench,
gotcha.
And I am going with my favorite player in the NBA, and why I wanted to have the first bench pick, Damian Lillard.
Okay, sure. I'm gonna go with Ben Simmons coming off the bench.
I thought you were a Simmons hater.
I am a Simmons hater, but he's been playing well the past 2 or 3 weeks, so I'm taking.
What do you want him in the All-Star game for? He doesn't score.
If you look at his averaging points of like the last 3 to 2 weeks, it's been 20 plus points. So I take that.
All right, man. I mean, I guess you can give me James Harden to round out my backcourt again.
Fine by me, because I'm going to be taking where is he? Devin Booker. He's honestly one of my favorite players in the NBA right now. I love watching Devin Booker.
I thought he was an initial snub. I'm so happy he got in, dude. I would have felt very bad if they didn't let him get in.
Sam, you better be careful. Might be a little team friction there. You got the battle for Kendall Jenner on your team.
I know. You see, I didn't even think about that. That's good. That's
got to think about
good hosting by you.
You got to think about these things, man.
Yeah, that's good hosting by you.
Thank you.
That's Steve Harvey hosting.
That's Steve Harvey. Again, I don't know why I chose Steve Harvey. He's not even in sports, so whatever. We're rolling with it.
You're just gonna crack a couple good jokes. It'll make sense.
Yeah, I'm not that funny.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I'll go Rudy Gobert.
That's a brutal pick. I'm gonna go with Vucevic. He's honest. I think he's one of the most underrated players in the league right now. I like Vucevic. I've had him on a couple of my fantasy teams, so
he plays
like
for the Orlando Magic.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm taking Vucevic.
Why is the potential defensive player of the year a brutal pick?
Because Ben Simmons is going to be the defensive player of the year.
All right, he has 4 career threes, so I guess it evens out.
I don't know about that. We'll see.
All right. I guess I go with Zion, maybe. Go with Williamson.
Sure. Yeah, I love Zion. That was actually probably going to be my next pick, to be honest. But whatever. I'll take Zach LaVine. That's cool.
All right. That means I can be a homer and take Jaylen Brown then.
Good. So I don't have too many big guys on the team right now, which is a little bit of a problem, but that's fine. Could I take Anthony Davis because he's not playing, or
no, you leave KD and AD out since they're not playing. So right. Hypothetically you would have had KD, but
gotcha. All right. Well, I think I'm in a little bit of a bind for big guys, so I'm going to go with Paul George.
All right, so you want Paul George. Is he playing the 5 for you, or?
He's probably either the 4 or the 5. I don't know. It's an all-star game. Who cares?
So who's even left at this point? Oh, no. I'm taking Donovan Mitchell. The fact that he's not taken is an absolute joke.
There you go. I made the mistake and I didn't write anything down, so I don't know. I don't really even know who's on my team. I've been keeping track. You're good. You have been. Oh, you see, you're a good co-host. So, who's left?
I think here. This is who I think is left.
Oh, here you go. I got one. I'll take.
You're missing a couple people.
I'll take Sabonis. I like him.
Okay, you got Sabonis.
Yeah.
I don't even know who to take anymore. Maybe I guess I'll take Julius Randle.
Not a bad pick. Yeah.
A solid year.
Yeah, who's left? I think
Chris Paul is left.
I know Chris Paul is left. Who else? Let's see. You took Randle. I have Levine. You took Harden. Did you take Jaylen Brown?
Yes.
Okay.
So you want me to run through who I have on the bench and who you have?
Yes. I
think we have everybody
except for Chris Paul. So I think Chris Paul is the only one left. So I have to take Chris Paul.
You think so? You want me to Don, you have a list up? I'll read through everyone. And
I
just let us know if anyone's not.
Of course I have the list up. I'm the host.
There you go. All right. So the starters for Team Sam Glavin, aka KD: Joel Embiid, Bradley Beal, Luka Doncic, Jason Tatum, Kawhi Leonard. Mm-hmm. My starters are LeBron, Curry, Irving, Giannis, Jokic. Your bench for KD is Simmons, Booker, Vucevic, Levine, George, Sabonis, Paul. Mm-hmm. My bench is Lillard, Harden, Gobert, Zion Williamson, Brown, Mitchell, Randle.
Yep, all good.
Good. All right. So I personally, if I'm being honest, I think your starters beat my starters, but I like my bench better than your bench.
I think I'm outscoring you by 100, and I don't know what you expected Joel Embiid to do scoring wise in an All-Star game where they're only shooting threes and dunking, but that was a really interesting first pick.
That's what he does in the game. That's what he shoots.
All right, we should get a 2K simulation played and see what the final outcome would be if that's possible.
I just want to. We got to hear what everyone says, like who's going to win. Like with these teams.
I think I'm telling you, I think your starters beat my starters, but I like my bench better.
And I'm going with Sammy's team. Sorry.
What on your bench gives you the edge though? Because
the Sixers have taught us anything right now, right? It's that you need a solid bench or else you're not going to go anywhere. So that's That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
I have Lillard and Harden as my first 2 bench options.
It's all good.
All right, man. If you're confident, man. I mean, just don't forget that Harden's unselfish now. So.
Oh, whatever. Get out of here with that.
Things you have to remember, man. Things you have to remember.
Harden. I'm so glad he's not playing for the Sixers.
Kendall Jenner is gonna have. She's gonna be in. She's gonna be in their heads, man. It's really gonna mess up your team chemistry.
I think you know what, you might be right about that, but I choose to.
She'll be in tears by the final score, anyways. It's okay.
Whatever. All right, that was pretty fun.
Anyway,
that was a good time. I like.
Well, that was fun. If that game was to actually be played with that squad, I do think Sammy's team would pull out the dub there. But maybe we'll get a 2K simulation going with that. But anyway, we are going to roll on into our next segment with men's lacrosse captain Matt Donnelly.
Healthy, not boring. That's not just the motto of the Grazery, but it is also their promise to you. Visit Grazery today and indulge on fresh Mediterranean-inspired salads, sandwiches, and soups, among other great options on a menu that serves both breakfast and lunch. Eat in or take out. No reservation needed here. So hurry on down to 156 West High Street, just yards from the campus, and enjoy a fresh and feel healthy meal today.
Okay, everybody, we are back with our interview segment, as is tradition in the Speak of the Devils podcast. Today, we are joined by men's lacrosse captain and All-American Matt Donnelly. Matt, what's going on, man? Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me on today. It's exciting.
Absolutely. And it's nice to see somebody back in Carlisle that we're having on. I know Sam's there too, but nice to see students back in Carlisle. So I guess my first question would be, how has the transition back to campus been after a year, and what has been lacrosse been like, preparing for a hopeful season?
Yeah, so the transition back to campus has been smooth. It's definitely awesome that all the student athletes here were granted the opportunity to come here and practice whether or not they had a season. And the school has done everything they can for us, and it goes a long way. We really appreciate that. And just as teams move on and as we're hopeful for games, a lot of players and teams are making sacrifices to make this work. So we're hoping to get some good news this week about a potential season. And other than that, it's been great.
Yeah, so a couple days ago, or maybe a few weeks ago, I can't totally remember, but you were named captain for the men's lacrosse team this year. What does that mean to you? How you feeling about it?
It's incredible. To me, it's an incredible opportunity to represent a program that means so much to the rest of the guys on our team, our alumni, and Dickinson community. Being part of this team requires a lot of commitment, and I'm just proud to say that I can call myself a captain and a leader amongst 50 great men, and just to be honored like those that were honored before me.
That's awesome. And I kind of want to actually go back to something that Dom was talking about. And you talked about, the waiting thing. And what has it been like? I know we heard a little bit from Sam previously about what it's been like waiting for this news. They just kind of string you on and on and on. What has kind of the conversation been like in the locker room? And what has that kind of situation been like?
It's definitely been tough. It has not been ideal as a team. We just go out to practice every day and go to the weight room every day with the mentality that we're going to have games. Because until we're told we're not, that's what we plan on doing, and we're going to get better every day to that goal of winning a Centennial Championship and possibly even a national championship. It's definitely been mentally straining on everyone, but every day it gets better and better, and we become more hopeful. Cases are going down, vaccine rollouts are getting a lot bigger, so we're optimistic.
I know Coach Webster likes to roll out kind of a theme or some sort of acronym for the season. Has he rolled that out to you guys yet?
Yeah, so our acronym or theme for the year, our saying, our motto is nobody cares, work harder. It's taken from the Baltimore Ravens quarterback Lamar Jackson. Just what we've been going through. You're not a victim of anything. You're going through what everyone else has done. And what that really means to us is nobody cares what Gettysburg's doing. Nobody cares what anybody else is doing. You yourself have to attack every day and work harder to become a better person than you were yesterday.
That's good. We have something similar to that kind of was brought on last year by Dom Fusco's boy Andrew Mazzoni. It's YNTG. You're not that good. So we always say that in like lifts and stuff like that. So that's pretty cool. But how have practices been going? I know obviously they're going to be a little different. So can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so for the first week of practice, it was definitely interesting. Practice like I've never had before. We were in 3 different pods as a team, and then for that first week, each pod needed to be socially distanced, and the people within those pods also needed to be socially distanced. So as a team, we were working a lot on our conditioning and stick work because we could do those things socially. And it's definitely a big adjustment, not only for us players, but the coaches, because they've obviously never planned for something like this before. These are unprecedented times. And then the following week, week 2, we were able to make contact with those inner pods. So all the boys were real happy about that. Getting to some live drills, getting some real action on the field, because it's been over 300 days since the last time we were on Biddle. So kids were pumped about that.
Definitely.
And now we're excited for our 3rd week where we can start integrating to full teamwork, and we can only hope for the best.
Yeah, I know we just had our first like team lift with everybody that's on campus right now. So that in the Durden. So that was exciting.
Yeah, it's an incredible feeling. It's very relieving getting back on campus and be able to put in that work with everyone. Because like I said, I think one of our players counted us 341 days between our first practice or lift since the day we got kicked off. So, I mean, it's incredible.
Now, obviously your practices have changed. How is your weekly daily schedule as a college athlete changed? Because obviously Dickinson has a ton of protocols in place.
Yeah, it's definitely really different. And I guess not too much as my daily schedule has changed, other than the fact that instead of walking to classes, I'm taking my classes from Zoom just because cautious about infecting other teachers and everything else, and just trying to keep everyone healthy and safe. But besides that, I guess the biggest thing that we've been affected by is the inability to like all be in the locker room together, all be together off the field, or even sit with some of our players at the calf. A lot of the camaraderie our team has built during those moments, and those relationships are important to our team between every individual there is. And that's been our biggest obstacle, is really honing those relationships in and becoming a better team.
I'm going to take you back to our freshman year, when you guys won the Centennial Conference Championship. Still one of the coolest things I've experienced at Dickinson. The buses of kids going to Gettysburg and winning that game, this back and forth game, just an incredible experience. What was different about that year? And you guys ended up making a run to the Elite Eight. What was different in that year? How were you guys able to achieve such, a tough goal? And how are you emulating what happened that year and trying to implement it into what you're doing now?
Yeah, so every year our goal as a team is to do better than we were last year. And every year we have the same goals of winning that Centennial Conference Championship. And then once we win that, we take it one step at a time. Next step is the national championship. And we emulate the things we do every year. Just practice every day, lifting, and a lot of that's on the senior leadership of the team, and not just the captains, but every other senior is responsible for those rest of the team, because we've been through so much and we've been able to experience that feeling of winning that championship and going to the Elite Eight. And as a team, we count on those kids to really bring out the best of each player so we can do that again.
Do you have any, assuming that we all have a season in the spring, do you have any players to watch for this year?
Players to watch. Yes, I believe Stroud Core is going to step up real big in cage this year. Bobby Barrow is a stud defensive midfielder for our team, and Teddy McFarland is also a great long stick midi. Those are the 3 I'd really think of. But besides that, I think almost every player needs to be watched on our team.
Good stuff.
No, I mean, I'm hoping the answer is going to change because you're going to play more games this season. But looking back on your career, what's the most memorable game or moment in your Dickinson career? And I mean, it might be that Gettysburg game, or maybe even the Franklin Marshall game before that. But I'm curious, what first comes to mind?
Probably the Centennial Conference Championship game, and it's tough to say because that was my freshman year, and every year our goal is to get back there. And that is the day we achieve that goal that we set out at the beginning of the year. So I guess that would be the defining game in my career so far. And just hoping we have the opportunity to play again this year and get back there and win it all.
My kind of last question for you is, it's more of a football thing where we always say, wearing the red. That's it's tradition in Dickinson football, but I think it applies to. We've asked professors, we've asked trainers, we've asked players from other teams, what it means. What does it mean to put on the red and wear that Dickinson or that Red Devils across the chest? As you're nearing the end of your Dickinson athletics career, when you reflect on that, what does that mean to you?
It means a lot of things, and I guess the one thing I can credit Dickinson athletics to, and more specifically Coach Webster, just because he's been a majority of my experience, is just making me a better person off the field. Just really developing me as a person, my professional career in the future. He's done everything he can, and he does everything he can for every other player on our team. And he really is what makes the difference for me. And that's what wearing the red's all about. Every player comes to this team with a mission to make the team, leave the team better than they found it. So, and that's what everyone's goal is to do. And we hope we did. So.
That's good stuff, man. I'm all out of questions. Dom took that last one from me, but it's good having you on, man. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, I got one more, and maybe it'll be a kind of similar answer to the last one, but obviously the Centennial Conference is pretty competitive. D3 lacrosse in general is pretty competitive. What makes Dickinson lacrosse different?
That's a great question. I think what makes Dickinson lacrosse different is the culture embedded in our team. On our team, we have a saying, we stand for heart on and off the field. The H is for hustle, E is for enthusiasm, A for attitude, R for respect, and T for toughness. Every one of our players stands for those values on and off the field, and we live and breathe that. And that's not just something we get to say and it's just a slogan. All of our players truly believe that and take that on their shoulders every day. So I really think that's what makes the difference.
Awesome. All right, Matt, we appreciate your honesty, and we hope for the best for you guys in the near future. And, if you're able to get out on Biddle, we're pulling for you guys for Centennial Conference Championship. And for those of us who can't be on campus, we will be watching. So best of luck to you and the rest of the guys. Yeah, thanks, Matt. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Matt.
I really appreciate it. Sam, good luck with your season as well. Hope you
man. You too.
Guys get some good news.
Yeah. Complex is something no coach or athlete wants to deal with, which is why every team aims to keep schemes and execution simple so success is easy to achieve. That's the game plan used by the Grazery right here in Carlisle. Simple ingredients that are fresh, healthy, and above all, delicious. Healthy, not boring food that is not just good for you, or that is not just good, but good for you. That one gets me every time. Made from only the healthiest and simple ingredients. So come on in today and enjoy a great meal made simple at the Grazery, located at 156 West High Street, Carlisle, Pennsylvania.
All right, Sam putting that Dickinson education to use.
Yeah.
You're really putting a bad name to that, man. You can't even read the ad read. Putting a bad name to the Grazery as well.
Episode 20-something?
Yeah, come on, man.
I still barely get it right, so I can't really say it.
No,
there's two different ones. Whatever. I have the first one memorized pretty much.
I'm just getting you fired up even more. All right.
Yeah, we've been messing with you the whole episode. We just got to keep it up at this point, man.
What else is new?
All right. Well, moving on. Okay, we are doing the top 5 college basketball players, our top 5 favorite college basketball players, I should say. Not necessarily the best of all time, rather mostly a mix of highlight guys and guys we watched growing up who really succeeded or we really enjoyed watching. So I will lead it off. And my number 5 is John Wall, who was absolutely electric at Kentucky. Back when I was in elementary school, middle school, when he came into the league, there was the John Wall song. And so that was just really fun and nostalgic. So I got to throw John Wall in there.
There you go. So I'm gonna go very, very recent. I'm gonna go with Zion Williamson. I can't remember another guy who dominated the basketball court in the college basketball level other than Zion Williamson in the past 10 years. So and I'm a Duke fan too, so I had to put Zion on there because he's a monster.
Yeah, dude, he was super good at finishing the season too. So number 5 for me is gonna be Jalen Brunson. Just absolutely electric. He was
Yeah.
clutch. I mean, there's just no way I could have left him off at number 5.
My number 4 is going to be very recent too, and it is Mo Wagner from Michigan. And
Nice. Good pick.
Mo Wagner was awesome, and I also picked Michigan to win the finals that year win the NCAA tournament that year in my bracket, which they didn't, but still won my bracket because of them. And Mo Wagner was just an absolute beast in that tournament.
That's a good pick. I like Mo Wagner. I'm gonna go with at my number 4 is John Wall. So I mean, I can't really say anything more than what Dom already said, but just that's it.
Yeah, as a Michigan fan, I love that pick, and I know Justin's a Michigan fan too. He's gonna love that pick.
Yep.
My number 4 though is gonna be Doug McDermott. Creighton. He'll be my number 4,
Nice.
and there's very little I gotta say about Doug McDermott. Not the greatest NBA player, but I can't imagine anyone quite as electric as he was in the NCAA tournament for Creighton.
My number 3, by the way, Doug McDermott, great pick. My number 3 is Jamir Fradette. Jamir was, he was what every white guy aspired to be as on the basketball court. And, if you don't know who Jamir Fradette is, go back and watch his college highlights. He's an absolute beast and just he's pulling up doing Steph shots, like way back in the day. And it was just ridiculous. So I got to go Jamir Fradette, number 3.
Yeah. My number 3 is going to be Ryan Arcidiacono out of Villanova. And I loved watching Villanova basketball and stuff. And they got a championship that year with him. And then his younger brother ended up post-gradding at my high school for like the year after I graduated. So I was following that too. And now he plays at Nova, which is pretty cool. So.
Yeah. So my number 3 is Jamir Fradette. He was the NCAA Curry.
Yep.
He was the NCAA Curry. My number 2 is Shabazz Napier from Yukon, and just took Yukon. I think they were a 7 seed that year, and he literally, watching him shoot the ball, it really was like he never missed. Like it was just like watching I went back and watched a couple of his highlights. Just ridiculous the way he was able to score and led a Yukon team that was number 7 to a championship, which was absurd.
Yeah, my number 2 is Jamir Fradette. So that's it. We can move on.
All right, my number 2 was Trey Burke from Michigan. So I'll be bringing Michigan back up and brought them. I believe that they make it to the Final Four of the championship against Louisville, right? I believe that's where that one ended up. I'm pretty sure he was able to lead them to a championship game. Didn't win. I'm pretty sure Louisville won that one, but still a very, very good game, and one of the best players, at least that I've watched, maybe besides Mo for Michigan.
My number 1 is Jamir Nelson, local guy, St. Joe's, way back in the day. I don't really remember him playing that much because I was like 5 or 6 when he was at St. Joe's and led them to the Sweet 16. But he went on to play for the Magic. He's a local guy from my area and just had an incredible college career. And I'm a St. Joe's fan, so I'll go Jamir Nelson.
Good stuff. My number 1 is going to be Christian Laettner. I love the Christian Laettner documentary, and I'm a big Duke guy. And but that's honestly one of my favorite documentaries, and he was absolutely phenomenal at Duke. Like, I think one of the best college basketball players ever.
All right, so honestly, I also forgot Trey Hardaway Jr. was Trey Hardaway, or is it a different first name? But Hardaway Jr. was Tim Hardaway Jr. That's what it was. Tim Hardaway Jr. was electric for Michigan. I think he's on the Mavericks now, but he was another one I considered for number 5. But not my number 1.
Is that your honorable mention, Sammy?
It's not an honorable mention, but it was another Michigan shout out more.
Gotcha.
My number 1 though is a Celtics shout out. Kemba Walker from Yukon. Cardiac Kemba was born in college.
Yep.
And he has arguably one of the most iconic shots, if not the most iconic shot in conference tournament history, with that step back that absolutely broke Granite of Big's ankles, but we'll let it slide.
I'll go honorable mention. Mine was Joakim Noah, Florida.
Nice. If I honestly, before you even said Kemba Walker, Sammy, he was going to be my honorable mention. So I had I had to put Cardiac Kemba on there.
Honestly, like we had a lot more variety in terms of like, besides the Jamir Fradette. But
yeah,
that was a gimme. I knew we were all going to have Jamir.
Honestly, I thought we were all going to have him at 3. Like me and Dio had him at 3. I thought Sam was going to have him at 3 too, but he put him at 2. So it's fair. Yeah. Definitely allow it.
All right. Well, that is another episode of Speak of the Devils podcast. If you enjoyed this, share it with someone you know. Let's keep growing this community. Hopefully we'll get some Red Devil athletics to talk about here shortly. We'll keep our hopes up on that one. Thank you all as always for tuning in. And as always, roll Devs.
Roll Devs. Let us know who won, me or Sam.
Yeah.